What do you guys think all of these IPs? Are you excited about more and more than the other? Do you think we're right about some? Do you think we're wrong about some? Where do you see the future for DC? Where do you see the future for Marvel? Where do you see the future for Star Wars?
I know we touched on Marvel. I know we've touched on DC. Real quick, I read somewhere that the script for Spawn is complete.
There's no Iron Man, there's no Cap, there's no Hawkeye, there's nothing. None of that. Welcome back to Podcasting Run Nerdy with that nerd ADC and Uncle Black. And boy, first of all, welcome to 2026. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. I am that Uncle Black. What's up, people?
If you haven't seen our previous episode, be sure to check that out.
Fire.
Yeah, I know we got Uncle Black over there handling the socials. You're going to see snippets of the episode pop up probably pretty quickly. But in our previous episode, we went over our tops and worst of 2025. So be sure to check out those on our socials. Let us know if you think we're totally off our rockers or if you agree with us. We'd love to hear your feedback. We really went into it. And we ended the last episode really going down a rabbit hole. I don't know if you remember this, Uncle Black, but we ended the last episode really talking about, Marvel. And really talking about how it started with me saying how I am very, very worried about Doomsday. And I'm very, very worried about all the jump the shark moments that potentially can happen here. So I want to start off by talking about that because a lot of people I know this is 2027, but a lot of people's most anticipated comic book movie coming up is Doomsday. So let's talk about Doomsday. Let's talk about that. I am going to piggyback on what I ended the last episode with saying, and that's like, I don't think this is going to be good. I think they're going to try to shoehorn so many concepts and they're going to try to make us feel dumb on so many things. They're gonna Men in Black us, Uncle Black. They're gonna they're like, you don't remember none of that. I see that's what's gonna happen. I feel that's what's gonna happen. And I correct me if I'm wrong, toward the end of our last episode, I think you were starting to agree with me.
I do.
So yeah, how do you, putting your Nostradamus hat on, Black Nostradamus hat on, how is there a way to save this? Should they be able to save it? What do you do if you're Kevin Feige at this point? To me, you have to hard reset it. It's going to be messy. It's going to be gross. It's not going to be pretty. Try to have a lot of people mad at you no matter what you do. But to me, Doomsday, after Doomsday, going into Secret Wars, because I don't think you even wait for you basically back to phase one with your new Avengers. Avengers is no longer the focus. That's old. That's the old hot. We're looking for the new hotness. And the new hotness, continuing on the Men in Black terms here, the new hotness is X-Men and Fantastic Four. And you start telling those stories. Like somehow in Doomsday, Avengers just get wiped out. I'm talking about not only do they die, but the memory of them, everything, they're gone. They don't exist no more. I think that's half. There's no Iron Man, there's no Cap, there's no Hawkeye, there's nothing. None of that ever happened, basically. And we're in a new world where X-Men and Fantastic Four run the show. Do you see where I'm coming from?
I see where you're coming from. So I was watching something on YouTube basically saying Doomsday is all at the fault of the X-Men and the mutants. They're the ones that started using time travel first. If you really think about it, if you watch the Marvel movie timelines, they got the time travel first. And it was kind of a what if their timeline was the main timeline. And then 616, the MCU, became the new timeline when the X-Men started doing all that time travel, splintering everything off, which kind of would work, which would mean at the end of this all, there's nobody. You're going to get a whole new set of look and face of X-Men. The Fantastic Four will be in the MCU or 616. I don't even think we don't need a Doctor Strange anymore. We don't need a Shang-Chi because whatever, we're going to have our street level heroes: Spider-Man, Daredevil, Jessica Jones. Oh, just who did they announce? What's his name as Iron Fist is coming back?
They did.
Yeah, I swore I saw it somewhere. One person that I know is not surviving is Bucky. Bucky's Sebastian Stan is jumping over to DC.
Yep. You've gotten up.
And
Yeah.
so that tells us all. I am mad at this. I am so mad at this though. Why does it have to be Matt Reeves Batman?
Right. You're dropping the plot too, either way. Not only did Sebastian Stan get announced as Two-Face, but it's highly speculated that Scarlett Johansson is playing Edna did.
Yeah.
So you got Black Widow and Bucky over here now.
So, I'm kind of, a who's who, and that's going to be our list. That should be a list for another episode of who would we love to see from Marvel jump over to DC. Because Sebastian Stan, great, but not a Matt Reeves movie. No. Harvey Dent, Two-Face, yes, but in Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, he should be in the proper DCU.
And that I was so angry. I was throwing stuff when I read that. But that says a lot, because if he's jumping over, that tells us he's probably not surviving. Really, really not surviving. But I don't know if you also saw that last Doomsday trailer, where the way they were spinning it is that everybody thinks he's Tony. And we gotta, there was Pepper, I have to talk to him. And even you hear Spider-Man, Peter Parker, Mr. Stark. So everybody thinks he's Tony, but he's not. That's the only survival that this will have of a movie, is that he cannot be Tony Stark.
In any variation.
In any variation. He knows that he looks like Tony Stark. He knows that that's his doppelganger, and he's going to use that to his advantage. Sucker all these people to be on his side. That's how he's going to get the Dark Avengers. That's the only way this movie will work. Otherwise,
to me, that's still cheap.
It really is, because you should have just had someone else. Otherwise, he snapped himself into a new reality where he could control stuff and fix things so that, Thanos' original snap didn't happen, and he's figuring out a way to erase everything to make it right. But then what does that do? That uses up Doctor Doom. And that ticks me off. Unless we get a new Doctor Doom, which will also tick me off. That will be so cheap also. There's no shuffling yourself out of this hole that they've just created for themselves, because they're hyping this. We can almost guarantee we're going to see the Thor and Deadpool scene. It's a guarantee. But it pisses me beyond any belief of that they're trying to pull the wool over our heads and say this is going to be a great movie, because every other movie's been, well, every other ensemble movie has been great, but this is where they're going to hit a wall. They're going to need to reset hard, and they're going to need to take a break. They really are going to need to give us a few years with nothing, give us a craving, give us a wanting for more.
And ask for forgiveness too.
Yeah.
Because, with the way we were pretty sure Doomsday's going to go, people were excited after Doomsday comes out for Secret Wars. Do you even want it at that point?
One reason why. I just want to see Black Suit Spider-Man, symbiote suit. But that could happen in a Spider-Man movie. And with the Spider-Man, I'm waiting for Miles Morales.
I thought they should have pulled that trigger a while ago.
A long time ago. And this should have been Miles Morales. And it still would have worked.
They should have pulled it at the, what was the last Spider-Man movie? Brand New Day?
No Way Home?
No Way Home. Like when he comes back and nobody knows who he is, I was waiting for a Miles Morales scene.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
That's where it should have happened.
Perfect opportunity. It's been proven that their Spider-Verse is a failure. So, Marvel needs to tell Sony, you need to figure this out. But I think what Sony's doing is they're giving us this version, MCU Spider-Man, for a while. I know for a fact, it's been said, it's common knowledge that Marvel can't touch Marvel Disney can't touch Miles Morales, and we should see him after the Into the Spider-Verse movies. But I think honestly, that's too long. We need something now, and we need Spider-Man really needs, as a whole, for the MCU I'm talking about, need something fresh, need something new. I'm glad we're gonna get Tobey Maguire. I'm sure we're gonna get Andrew Garfield. Those three hit it off really well. I would love to see that. We're gonna lose one of them.
And to me, it doesn't make sense to be Tom Holland just because he's got a lot more left in the tank. So it's going to be Garfield or Maguire. And to me, like, it's to me, right? Because yeah, if they die, like in the moment when you're watching the movie, you're gonna be like, oh, piece of my childhood. That's horror, or that's horror nerds. But I think the common movie goer this generation is not attached to those movies like most of us are. So I don't see that really hitting that much. To like, if like Maguire or Garfield die in Secret Wars, or they both die, I don't think it's going to have the effect that they think it will. And it's just like, well, yeah, you killed a Spider-Man, but did you? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, really? Did you? There's so many other.
like now Tom Holland dies in Secret Wars, I mean in Doomsday, then that's a whole different story, right? But like, they're not going to do that because brand new day.
No. Yeah, that's their bread and butter right there. So he's not allowed to die, but everybody else can. And honestly, I think it would be a great send off for Maguire. Blackstradamus in the moment. Here we come. It's going to be a great intro for Tom Holland Spider-Man going into Secret Wars, getting his symbiote suit. And you know how that messes with his brain. And that's going to be, well, I've lost mentor number one, Tony Stark. I lost Aunt May. I lost Ned and, what's her name? MJ. And then, I lost a Peter Parker. It's going to really mess with his brain. He's going to, like, dude, I want to see that version of a Tom Holland as symbiote suit Spider-Man. And Sony better make it one whole movie. You cut it at the clock tower. That's it. You see the drippings, hits Tom Hardy, and he gets his Venom suit back. But now Venom's all jacked up because of the bad memories from Tom Holland. That gives us an evil Venom again. At least for that last third movie. But he doesn't die, or you can figure it out. But all right, that's my Blackstradamus moment with what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, Marvel, it's a joke. It really is a joke. You give us 10-second snippets just to give us a whole trailer. Last trailer, the best part of it was the X-Men.
Yeah, and to me, Doomsday, they're shaping it up to basically be a greatest hits album. That's what I call music volume 20 version of comic book movies. They're just gonna nostalgia. Remember this? Remember him? Oh, you get him. Or you got that. You got that. It's just gonna be, and I felt that way about Deadpool and Wolverine too. But I feel like they do that a lot lately, where it's just it's how can we pop the audience, but this is not going anywhere.
Yeah. That it's gonna be a lot of pops. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Cable. I'm not gonna be. I mean, you're bringing the X-Men back, and I'm not gonna be surprised if we. You can't really tell us everybody because then you can't. But we gotta see an Iceman. We gotta see, we gotta see a Cable, or because they're mixed in. But don't give us a Havoc. Although we've seen Havoc before, don't give us a Havoc because that was just a storm with Havoc anyway, or Banshee. But really, give us the pops. Although it's gonna be a cheap pop, I'm down for it. I mean, we saw what's his name? We saw Gambit. I did not see Anna Paquin at all in any of the, and maybe that's another thing we need. If you really want to make us laugh, Anna Paquin's all shacked up with Magneto, and Gambit's not too happy about it. Kind of like that video that we've been seeing. I don't know if you've seen it where, some guy's at a con and he's talking about how he's upset that he lost Rogue to Magneto. Something like that. But I don't know. Let's see. And then do we get Oscar Isaacs as both Apocalypse and Moon Knight?
Probably.
Able
And are we going to get into Fox X-Men too? That are we only getting the Order X-Men too, or are we also getting McAvoy and Fassbender? Are we getting them as well?
We might as well. You're wrapping up that whole X-verse. You might as well throw the kitchen sink at it, just so that you can reset. And after Secret Wars, it's a Professor X opening his eyes, knowing what happened, opening his eyes in the X Mansion with his students of X-Men. And same mind, different body. That's the only way that the X-Men will work. Same mind, different body. And he knows what's happened. And this is his second chance to fix it. And that's where we get Onslaught.
I can see that.
I'm waiting for that.
Because to me, I probably wouldn't. I get why they're doing it. Once again, it's for the pop. It's for the establishment of it all. But I would have probably just brought in McAvoy and her, because they're old enough now that they can portray their older selves.
Yeah.
You really don't need Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, I don't think, because it's been long enough since McAvoy and Fassbender have done those roles that they can realistically be their older selves now.
Yeah. Or is it that where we get them again and they relaunch with McAvoy and Fassbender? There was nothing wrong with them as Magneto and Professor X. They were perfect. So is that a reboot within a reboot, like an Inception type deal of, he opens his eyes and he's McAvoy again? That really, those movies weren't bad. There was nothing wrong, maybe characters out of place. But I would be down for that, because it's been quite a long while where we've had McAvoy as Professor X and Fassbender as Magneto, and Fassbender was great. And maybe that's, where we tie back into Days of Future Past. A similar thing to happen with Wolverine. He opened his eyes, he thought he was in the right place, and everything was fine, but he's in a splinter of the timeline. That's really what happened. So that's the only way that this will work.
Yeah, because to me, you have longevity with McAvoy and Fassbender. You don't necessarily have to recast, and you can keep that lineage through them, rather than recasting Professor X and Magneto. You just have it be McAvoy and Fassbender, and then you have new Cyclops and do this and do that. But at least you have your Professor X and Magneto being two people that are ingrained in the minds of.
Yeah, and it kind of, you're doing the same thing that you've done with McKellen and Patrick Stewart. They never really got the official passing of the torch. This would be it. This is the passing of the torch. And now they're at that age where they could carry on and really go on into the future as Magneto, and, sign them till they're 99. That's really what they need to do.
And it could be also one of those things where McAvoy and Fassbender don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Then they feel like they're outgrown the roles, or they're done with them. That very well could be I can see that more so for McAvoy than Fassbender. Yeah. Look at the choices McAvoy's making with his career, and he's done some great movies since he's been Professor X. Yeah. He's done some very creative roles and stuff like that. And maybe it's just I don't want to go back to the comic book,
the genre. I don't want to be pigeonholed and to that role.
No, Fassbender, he's not really doing much, so I think he would jump that.
I'm still waiting. What do you mean? I was still waiting for Assassin's Creed 2. That was a good movie, underrated, but yeah, he's not doing much. I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw Fassbender in a movie, so I don't know.
The last thing I remember is him playing Jobs. This last movie I saw him in.
Wow.
Yeah. I know he's done stuff since then, but that's the last thing I saw him.
I'm going to have to check out what he's done. Hold on. I don't... Prometheus. Oh, okay. Was that before or after X-Men? That was before.
I think it was before. And that was after.
No, it was after.
Steve Jobs was after X-Men too.
That was a good movie. But, I mean, looking at his list, Last thing he did was Dark Phoenix, The Killer, Next Goal Wins, Kneecap, The Agency, Central Intelligence, and Black Bag.
I don't remember it.
I don't know. I guess Agency is like some TV series. I don't even know.
Yeah, he hasn't really had roles, but if you look at like McAvoy, and he had what's that one? Was like the creepy. They're like camping or whatever,
Yes, that was a good movie. Oh my god.
and then like he's done that. He's done was it Split? I think that was like right around X-Men. I think it was around the same time.
Yeah, yeah. It was that movie was called Pose, I think. No, Speak No Evil. Speak No Evil.
Yeah, that one was
That
really
was,
good.
that was a good movie. Really? He was in The Sandman?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch that again. He's done a lot of TV. I mean, but Speak No Easy and then Pose. He's voiced maybe book on tape, maybe. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows and the Order of the Phoenix and the Goblet of Fire video, voicing Alistair Moody.
I think it's probably book on tape.
Yeah, I mean, but again, you could tell by Speak No Evil and Pose the roles that he likes to now present himself in. These thrillers, these movies that are much deeper in thought and mind, that I could get where he's going with it, and I could respect him if he said no. But yeah, that's my take on Marvel, and right now, really, I see a big iceberg coming.
Same. And this can be DC's 2026 and DC's 2027. I think they have we were mentioning this in the prior episode, but I want to reinforce it that especially with this deal with Netflix, if it goes through with Warner Brothers, they're going to be a force in the next couple years.
They are going to be a force to be reckoned with if done correctly.
Mm-hmm.
If really done correctly. Again, I'm not a fan of Sebastian Stan being in the Batman 2, Scarlett Johansson being in the Batman 2. No, they need to be main continuity of DC. I get you want to put people in chairs and seats, butts in seats. There's so many other people that could have done a Two-Face. I'm just not feeling it. I'm feeling it, but I'm not feeling it. Is the way that I'm looking at it.
You feel like it's wasted.
It's just a waste
And
of an appearance.
I know I was watching another YouTuber talking about how her worry, Grace Randolph's worry was that, with when Batman 2 set to come out, which I think is October this year, with it not being too far removed from a Pseudo Wars and a Doomsday, from a Doomsday and a Secret Wars, that is it going to take you out of the movie to see them in those roles? Because you're probably not that far from seeing them as returning one last time in their roles as Bucky and Black Widow.
Yeah, like.
So you're over here watching them as Harvey Dent and Edna Dent, and they're over here watching them as Bucky and Black Widow. Is there a disconnect there?
Giant, because when you're jumping from one franchise to another, I feel like there needs to be a cool down period before you do that. And the only person that could get away with that is Sean Gunn. Man needs no cool down period. I'm sorry, he just doesn't.
Well, he's not a big name actor. It's not like there was like he was like in Guardians he was like a main role toward the end.
Yeah.
But like it's just like it'd be like if Chris Evans got a role in DC as Midnight or something like that, right? When we're watching him in Doomsday and Secret Wars as Steve.
Yeah.
Like, to me, Sebastian Stan and Scarlett Johansson, they're part of the main original core. It's going to take you out of it.
Yeah. You know what's coming. Again, well, that's even if she's in it. And I think she is. But my heart is not in their role. I'm sorry. It's just not. It's wasted, super wasted talent. I did want to jump on something, though. But before I go on a tangent on this one, because I've been fighting right for days. But with DC, there's hope in Lanterns. There really is hope. Kind of what they did is we're skipping the whole Hal Jordan stuff, or are they?
I think they're going to tell it through a lot of flashbacks.
For now, they could really kind of pull it off, and we could kind of get two different Hal Jordans if they pull it off right, where we're seeing one right off into the sunset, but later on we'll get a younger, the whole time travel stuff. If they even do that, and that's gonna be, you might disconnect your fans with that, because time travel's been done too many times. So I don't know. Maybe you go with the Jon Stewart. Maybe he turns into Parallax and Spectre. I'd like to see a take on that. Honestly, at this point, I'm open-minded to anything that Lanterns is going to throw at us. I say this now, so take it with a grain of salt, because I'm probably going to be the first person pissed off. I see a lot of good content coming out of this Lantern show.
I expect reviews of every single episode.
Yeah. They better drop it at once. They better not do it week by week, because that's really gonna piss me off. Like really, just drop it all at once so I could just binge watch them and just sit here for like 24 hours. I'll take a couple of days off and watch all of them, and just, you're gonna see me in the same shirt for every episode, all sweaty. I'll be withdrawn because I haven't slept, and I'll be so angry. And I lost my monitors. You still there?
Yeah, man.
All right, cool. I'm excited because it's not overly CGI'd. It's simple CGI, and when I say that, it's different than the CGI that they use for the movie. It is that detective story. I'm excited to see where this goes. We got Supergirl coming also. They have Supergirl coming. That's going to be their big thing for 2026 is Supergirl, leading us off into 2027. I think now is their time to double down. We need a Swamp Thing movie. We really do. James Gunn is very good at giving us these obscure, and Swamp Thing's not obscure, but I think he's good at giving us these characters that we haven't seen in a long time. We need a Constantine though.
And you can do that as Swamp Thing.
Yes. Rated R Constantine. But I don't want, Matt Ryan's got to come back. I don't want Keanu Reeves. I know that there's a cult following of that movie. It's just not it. Not it anymore. Too much time has passed.
Do you feel like too much time has passed for Matt Ryan to reprise the role?
No, the man is Constantine. And yeah, no, not enough time has passed for Matt Ryan, but too much has passed for Keanu. It's kind of like one of those things of like, people our age are the ones that see Keanu as Constantine. Whereas you have the younger generation that is used to the Arrowverse is seeing Matt Ryan as Constantine. Or you have those that watch Sandman and see Joanna Constantine.
Right, the female version, yeah.
Can't stand her.
I guess my problem with it is like, when I say time has passed, I mean time as far as age. Because depending on how much you're going to want to do with Constantine, can Matt Ryan do it for the next
10 years? Yeah, that's the problem. No, you can't.
So I think
time to recast.
Yeah, and I think there's people out there who we're not even thinking of who could go in that role and like give the essence of what Matt Ryan brought to the table. Talking about like bringing people over from the MCU. And guys, I know I'm well aware that all these people are probably around the same age as Matt Ryan, but I'm just saying like they're still active in the industry. Like a Benedict Cumberbatch or you see what I'm saying? There's people out there who I think could also do the role pretty good. Benedict was on a short list for Brainiac, and then they cast this like no-name actor from like Britain, but like this James Gunn went clear left field for Brainiac. Some of them on not on any of our radars. So I could see them going that way with Matt Ryan too. With Constantine. Also, I could see them, quote unquote, race bending Constantine. Could be a black actor.
They've done female. Why not?
I don't know. Did you ever watch the show Snowfall?
No, I haven't.
It's like it's based like in the, I want to say it's like the 80s maybe. It's like a drug center show it takes place in LA around the drug trade. But the actor who plays Franklin Saint on that show, I've been wanting to.
Jameson? No, I thought he was the new Black Panther.
I've heard rumors about that too, but like if if the Disney doesn't get him, the MCU doesn't get him, I could definitely see him in a role. He's so good. Like I'm just now getting on Snowfall. I binged like
No,
3 seasons in a row like last night. But
no.
for Idris, yeah. I could, but I think he needs a role.
Yes. Oh, okay. I gotta hop really quick. I gotta backtrack because this. Thank you for bringing that up. Caleb McLaughlin from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
This might piss off people. Oh, I did not even think about that for a second. Static Shock or Miles Morales?
For Damon?
For Caleb McLaughlin.
Oh, Caleb.
From Stranger Things.
Miles.
That will piss off a bunch of Puerto Rican people or a bunch of Hispanics. Not Puerto Ricans, but a bunch of Hispanics, because now the big important thing, unless because they want to be represented. They really want to be represented as a whole, as in Spider-Man, a big character.
But I agree. I see that point, but I do see him more as a Miles than a Static Shock. I don't even know if they're going to go the Static Shock route anymore. I think they're kind of dropping that idea.
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, Damon, Idris, like, he needs a role. One of these two need to pick him up. DC, Marvel, if you're listening to this, he needs a role. He's so good.
Okay, I got to go back and watch that. But then, what's his name? The guy from, and I'm on Stranger Things because you said something and it caused me to think of it. But oh my God, the guy that played Vecna.
Yeah.
Jamie Campbell Bower. There's your Constantine.
I could see it. Yeah, I could, for sure.
There's so much talent within that cast, but I think they also need a cool off period.
Yeah. You don't oversaturate them.
Yeah, they really.
Especially with how like Stranger Things ended and the lackluster reaction to it, like they need time to like have a little bit of forgiveness as actors too.
Yeah,
because a lot of people are not very happy with that. So
I've heard. I mean, David Harbour, we're going to see him again, but yeah, we need that sizzle, just cool off, because yeah,
you are not Papa.
You are like Papa.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. There's so much young actors coming up and talent out there that these roles can get filled pretty quick.
Yeah, I definitely see that. So wrapping up DC, I know we didn't spend a lot of time on it because we haven't had a lot from DC. Netflix deal is big. It's very important for DC to survive, and this is going to get them. I can kind of see now some of the HBO, like what they did with Stranger Things, put it in theaters. I could see that happening with certain things from DC now that are the TV shows. They're going to hype them up, and they're going to put it in the theater. That final episode. I could literally see that happening with Lantern.
Yeah, like for like a short run in selected markets for sort of thing. Yeah.
Like where you put that final episode or that first episode in the theaters. James Gunn, if you're listening to us, please do that. I will dress up.
Not only that, but like I talked about this in the previous episode too, but I could see a lot of shows tying into a bigger picture movie, the finale of the episode, the finale of the season.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's just like, well, you have to go through the theaters to see how this ultimately plays out in Supergirl or in Man of Tomorrow or whatever. Because I can see a lot of times at the finales of each season, you're going to have like some major movie sort of cameo who pop up and be like, well, I'm guessing probably might have to watch this movie to see why this cameo was here.
Yeah. And that's really the way that they need to start playing the game, is to get people to watch that movie. You're going to have to tie in a character for no reason, but it's going to tie into the movie. And even with the same thing with their animated. If you want to see, then you're going to have to watch the premiere of a show, or you need to watch a live action show or the premiere of a movie. It's going to continue, and you're going to give us that steady flow into it. Now, I know we touched on Marvel. I know we've touched on DC. Real quick, I read somewhere that the script for Spawn is complete, but that's a 2027-28 thing.
They canceled Blade.
They canceled Blade, yes. Kathleen Kennedy, here's the big one. Kathleen Kennedy is stepping down as Lucasfilm's president.
big.
I don't know where I said it. I know if I've said it. This was a Black Stradamus moment. I am right. It's going to be Dave Filoni. I'm right. And I will call it now. Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau. Those two. But it has to be Dave Filoni as the head of Lucasfilm.
I think they announced who the replacements are, and I think it's Dave Filoni and somebody else, but I don't think it's Favreau.
Lin-Win Brennan.
Yeah.
I was right. I've been waiting days to say that. I saw the writing on the wall. She's not stepping down. This was a golden handshake. I'm sorry. She was told, step down or be fired.
Things up. You need to
Yeah, basically. And oh, thank you. Because maybe we'll get the Acolyte back. Like, really a good show, and you cancel it. Thanks. If something fresh from Star Wars and you cancel it, which was a good show. The Acolyte was great. Maybe we'll get it back. I'm so excited because Dave Filoni is a purist when it comes to Star Wars, and he likes sticking with timelines, and he likes stuff that makes sense. So is there a way to save the Skywalker saga?
No, it's damaged.
Right.
It's beyond repair, in my opinion. Like
no
the Star Wars IP in general, I am not that interested. They've lost me.
Yeah, because there's so much of it, and so much of these the animated shows are great. Don't get me wrong, but there's so many of them, and some of them that aren't needed, like Tales of Young Jedi, Tales of the. I don't need that. Bad Batch was great, so don't go forward, go backwards. You have a whole era of stuff that you could do, and that's really what they need to focus on. What got us to the Skywalker saga? We all know the Skywalker saga. We all only thing that really people know is, your Darth Bane, your Darth Tenerbus, your Darth Plagueis. But, and those people that read the books. Well, it's time to refresh and dust that off and bring it back. And really give us these movies. Give us these Jedis that were around during those periods of time. And backfill all the way up until episode 1. And because there's not going to be much after, The Mandalorian's really what's been carrying Star Wars, and Ahsoka Tano because of Rebels.
Ahsoka.
So there's not much other than that I care to see. So maybe 2 more seasons of Ahsoka. The Mandalorian's over. Mandalorian is pretty much over unless you're going to go with something with Bo-Katan, but she doesn't really have a leg to stand on by herself. That's unless you really tell a series about Mandalorians. But I think The Mandalorian covered that for us.
2026 and 2027 is going to be a hard year for the Star Wars IP, because you're going to have to get these ideas in motion and then get them filmed. I think right now, there's no conversation around Star Wars. And it's gonna take a lot of foundation building to bring Star Wars back to the front again.
Yeah, and they lost a lot of their fans with the Acolyte, with that being canceled, because it was such a great show and you canceled it, and that really alienated a lot of fans of, well, then I don't want to watch the crap that whatever else you have. Really, I'm excited for The Mandalorian and Grogu, but how excited am I? You don't hear me talking about it. You don't see me reading into it. You don't see me reading into Ahsoka. I'm kind of meh. I'll get to it when it comes out, but that's it. But I was right. I just wanted to say that. So, folks that are new to me on podcasting while nerdy, folks, I have these moments called Black Stradamus moments, and sometimes it takes years for them to come to fruition. I say it. It tends on happening when I throw out Black Stradamus moment. That was a long time coming.
I'm still waiting until we're right about Vandal. But what do you guys think? All of these IPs, are you excited about more and more than the other? Do you think we're right about some? Do you think we're wrong about some? Where do you see the future for DC? Where do you see the future for Marvel? Where do you see the future for Star Wars? If you're a Trekkie, where do you see the future for Star Trek? Let us know. Let us know what you what IP you're interested in, and where you see they're going at 26, 27. To me, I think it's the next couple of years is the year of DC. If they handle their cards right, like Uncle Black said. We'd love to hear from you. We're constantly engaging, whether on socials or YouTube. I engage on YouTube. Uncle Black engages on socials, so you know who you're talking to. We would love to have conversations with you guys. Also, for you wrestling fans. After it goes off air, you'll see us, and we will be engaging with you live.
Definitely.
But until then, like I always say, keep it nerdy.
Drink up.
Drink up.